Alex Neil says Kate Forbes and Stephen Flynn should be installed as the new leadership duo within weeks to allow the party to move on from the disastrous and discredited Sturgeon regime. Alex Neil has called for John Swinney to resign after the SNP's general election drubbing and allow the party to start moving on from the discredited Sturgeon era. The former SNP Health Secretary said the First Minister's position was no longer tenable and he called for a new leader to be elected before Holyrood returns after the summer recess. "I think the party conference is still scheduled for the end of August," he said. "That would be the ideal time to do so and have a quick leadership election this summer. There will only be 20 months to the election, they have no time to spare. Kate Forbes and Stephen Flynn are the party's leading lights. They would be a great joint ticket." Mr. Neil joins a growing number of influential Nats who say Nicola Sturgeon's 8.5-year tenure as SNP leader and First Minister is to blame for the party's humiliating defeat at the polls. And he warned that if Mr. Swinney continued as leader, the party would suffer another rout at the Scottish Parliament election, which is currently scheduled to take place in May 2026. The SNP was dealt a shattering blow at the election last Thursday, losing 39 seats, down from the 48 the party won in 2019, which left it with just 9 MPs. A resurgent Labour Party ousted SNP MPs right across the Central Belt to take 37 seats. Furious Nats such as Joanna Cherry, who was ousted in Edinburgh South West, and Tony Giuliano, who failed to take the SNP's safest seat in Falkirk, have led the bitter recriminations as the party descends into all-out civil war. Speaking to the Herald, Mr. Neil said, "The leadership of the SNP has lost touch with both the grassroots of the party and the people. The campaign we ran was rubbish. There was a lack of a clear message coming across, 1 minute talking about independence, the next Devo Max. There was nothing exciting to say about policy, just slogans. There was total lack of preparation for a campaign, despite knowing for some time there was going to be a general election this year. And, of course, we are paying a heavy price for the Sturgeon mistakes, for the mistakes by her, by Humza Yousaf and John Swinney on gender, and the mess they have allowed the NHS and education to get into. John is seen as part of the Sturgeon problem." Mr. Neil said the first thing needed to turn around the party's fortunes was fresh leadership, with people taking over who are not associated with the Sturgeon-Swinney years of failure. He added, "The only two people who we have there are Kate Forbes and Stephen Flynn. My view is that Swinney should hand over to that new generation. John has led the party into 3 national elections, 2 when he was leader, before the Scottish Parliament election, in 2003, and before the European election, in 2004, and now this one, and in all 3 the party has gone substantially backwards. He is not a fresh leader. He is associated with the Sturgeon years and the mistakes Sturgeon made. He was her chief cheerleader and implemented a lot of the daft policies that she tried to push through the Parliament and of the way the party and the government was run. John is seen as part of the Sturgeon problem, not the answer to it.